Pontiac's War. Major engagements. Michigan. Siege of Fort Detroit, May 7th to October 31st, 1763. The war's principal conflict. Ottawa War Chief Pontiac led a coalition of Ottawa, Potawatomi, and Huron warriors in a siege of the crucial Fort Detroit. The fort was warned in advance and held out, but Pontiac's forces won the Battle of Bloody Run, July 31st, 1763, against a British relief column, maintaining the siege for months. Combatants. British forces against Native American Confederacy. Outcome: British victory, successful defense. Ohio. Capture of Fort Sandusky, May 16, 1763. A group of Wyandot warriors gained entry under the pretense of a council and then seized the small fort, killing the 15-man garrison. Combatants. British forces against Native American forces. Outcome: Native victory. Pennsylvania. Siege of Fort Pitt, June 22 to August 20, 1763. Delaware and Shawnee warriors besieged the strategically vital Fort Pitt, modern Pittsburgh. The British commander, Captain Simeon A. Quire, famously gave the besiegers blankets from the smallpox hospital in an early attempt at biological warfare. The siege was broken by a relief column at the Battle of Bushy Run. Combatants. British forces against Native American Confederacy. Outcome: British victory, successful defense. Michigan. Massacre at Fort Michilimackinac, June 2, 1763. Ojibwe warriors, playing a game of bagataway, lacrosse, outside the fort, intentionally threw the ball near the gate. They then rushed in to retrieve it, seized weapons hidden by their women, and killed most of the British garrison. Combatants. British forces against Native American forces. Outcome: decisive Native victory. Indiana and Pennsylvania. Capture of Forts Miami, Wiatanon, and Venango, June 1763. Through a combination of deception and surprise attacks, Native American forces captured these three smaller forts, killing or capturing their entire garrisons. Combatants. British forces against Native American forces. Outcome: sweeping Native victories. Pennsylvania. The Paxton Boys Massacres, December 1763. Not a battle against warriors, but a tragic event illustrating the war's racial fury. A mob of Pennsylvania frontier settlers from Paxton murdered 20 peaceful, Christianized Conestoga Indians, first in their village and then in the Lancaster workhouse where they had been placed for protection. Combatants. The Paxton Boys against the victims. Outcome: massacre of noncombatants. Pennsylvania. Battle of Bushy Run, August 5 to 6, 1763. A column of 500 British troops under Colonel Henry Bouquet, marching to relieve Fort Pitt, was ambushed by a strong force of Delaware, Shawnee, Mingo, and Huron warriors. On the second day, Bouquet feigned a retreat, luring his attackers into the open where his regulars delivered a devastating volley and bayonet charge. Combatants. British forces against Native American forces. Outcome: decisive British victory. This was the only open-field battle of the war and broke the siege of Fort Pitt. New York. The Devil's Hole Massacre, September 14, 1763. A Seneca ambush on a British supply train and its infantry escort near Niagara Falls. Over 80 soldiers and teamsters were killed, representing one of the most successful ambushes of the war. Combatants. British forces against Native American forces. Outcome: decisive Seneca victory. Michigan, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Bradstreet's and Bouquet's expeditions, 1764. These were not single battles, but large-scale, show-of-force campaigns that broke the back of the rebellion. Colonel John Bradstreet marched along Lake Erie, compelling tribes in the North to make peace through a combination of diplomacy and threat of force. Colonel Henry Bouquet marched into the Ohio country, and his sheer military presence forced the Delaware, Shawnee, and Mingo to sue for peace and release over 200 white captives. Combatants. British forces against Native American Confederacy. Outcome: British strategic victory. New York. Treaty of Fort Ontario, July 1766. The formal end of the war. Pontiac, his influence waning, Made peace with British Indian Superintendent Sir William Johnson. Signatories: British Empire and Iroquois Confederacy, Haudenosaunee. Outcome: the conflict ended in a stalemate, but the British government, seeking to avoid another costly war, issued the Royal Proclamation of 1763, which forbade American settlement west of the Appalachian Mountains, a key cause of the American Revolution.